So I want to make this quick video to talk about motivation, and when you struggle with motivation, give you something to think about. And I want to start off this by sharing a little bit of a story. So a couple years ago, we had this woman who reached out to us who really wanted to lose weight, and she wanted to join our program, but she said, I would love if my husband could join with me. And we got to talking on a call, and he actually ended up getting on the call as well. And then before he joined, she had told me, she's like, he has some weight to lose. I would love, for him to work out. I feel like, my journey would be so much easier if he got into working out and such as well. And she's like, I've told him and told him and told him how he needs to start taking care of himself. He had a few minor health issues and things like that. And he jumped on the call with us, and us three were, just having a conversation. And, he's like, I've just never been a big workout person, blah, blah, blah. And he started talking about golf, and they lived in Florida, and he loves to play golf. He plays golf like 3 or 4 times a week. And, I asked him what his handicap was, where at in Florida does he play? And we kind of got to talking about golf as a hobby, because I'm, also big into golf as well. And, I was like, how far, what's your best club in your bag? Like, how far do you hit the ball? We kind of just started, BSing about the game of golf. And, he was talking about how, he's gotten a little bit older. He can't hit the ball quite as far as he used to and things like that. And I told him, I was like, one thing that people don't realize, when you look at golf over 30, 40 years, it used to be these big, guys that had beer bellies. They weren't very athletic that played golf, but, someone like Tiger changed the game as far as physical fitness and being in great shape. And now you look at golfers, I mean, they don't look like NFL football players by any means, but they're pretty strong. And that they train a lot, and they lift weights, and they work on their core and lower body strength. And I told him, I was like, what's interesting, when COVID happened and I couldn't go to the gym for 2 or 3 months, all I really did was cardio. And I also, for the first time, like, hit abs every single day, and I stretched, and I really worked on mobility. And the only thing I could really do, because I had limited equipment at the place that I was staying, is I did core based workouts. And I told him that my golf game had never been as good as it was currently at that time. This would have been like fall of 2020 or maybe spring of 2021. I can't exactly remember. But I started talking about, when I really got serious about core training, because I couldn't go to the gym, and I worked on like core flexibility and strengthening my lower back, and working on my obliques and abs and all those sorts of things, and really built tremendous strength and power. I told him, like, I added, 30, 40 yards to my driver. Like, I could hammer my irons, and my golf game really, really improved, because I was focusing so much on, core strength and also core flexibility. And this light bulb went off for him. And I was talking to him, I was like, you come into our program, you lose a little bit of weight, you build some strength, we really focus in on your core. I promise you, your golf game is going to improve. And boom, as soon as we had that conversation, he's like, I'm going to start working out now, because if it really does improve my golf game, like this guy is saying, like, that will make me so happy and really make me enjoy golf even more, to go out there and, crush the driver further than my friends and such. And he came into our program, and he lost 20, 25 pounds. He looks so much better. He got in better shape. His health improved. And also, most importantly for him, his golf game improved. And I share this because oftentimes losing weight or a physical goal doesn't keep you motivated. But if you can ever think of a hobby or two that you're really passionate about, and tie that into why you train and why you work out, it will help keep you motivated and determined and disciplined in your health and fitness journey. For some of you former athletes, at least it was for me, if you know my story, when I was 12 or 13 is when I first got into training in the gym, when I was in middle school. And the reason I trained so hard was because that carried over to the ball field, the court, the diamond. And I saw all the work that I put in the weight room come over to the fields where I started as a freshman in football. I started as an eighth grader on the varsity baseball team. So I started reaping those rewards. And I didn't love training to train. I loved training because of what it did for me as far as athletic performance. One, it gave me confidence. I know not too many people outworked me in the gym when it came to training and doing agility work and conditioning and sprints. And I trained really, really hard at a young age. I had a very good mentor and teacher who would work with me. Um, but that's what kept me motivated. I had this confidence when I stepped on the field. Like, I know nobody out here is training as hard as I am. And that gave me a little bit of a mental edge. Secondly, I remember, like, in football, I played quarterback. When I would run with the ball and someone would try to tackle me, and I would keep, digging, and I'd get 3-4 extra yards because I'd fall forward or maybe I'd break a tackle. I know that was because I was squatting 400 or 500 pounds. I know that's because I was squatting and working on lower body strength, 2 or 3 times a week, where it was really hard to bring me down on the football field. I know that's why, as a pitcher and a catcher, I never really got tired, because my legs were in such good shape and they were so conditioned. And that's what really kept me motivated and why I fell in love with training, because I saw that at the time contribute to my athletic performance and the accolades I got and becoming all conference, all district, all state. That's why I train so hard. And I understand for some of you, what happens is, maybe you did play sports and you trained the same way because you wanted to, start on the volleyball team on varsity as a sophomore, whatever the case may be. But then life happens, kids happen, career happens. And then you're like, what's the point now? Because you're never going to get that drive like you did when you were, an athlete again, which I understand. I went through that period when I first entered the corporate world for a year or two, and I was like, my athletic career is done. I hung up the cleats. What am I doing this for? And fast forward, 12, 13 years later here, I train for a variety of reasons, but one of the reasons that I still do train is because of golf. Like, I enjoy golfing, and I know the stronger I am, the more flexible I am, the better my mobility and flexibility is. It's going to carry over on the golf course, right? So my point of this is if you can program your mind, if you have a hobby, and think of, like, this is why I train. This is why I work on my core strength. This is why I work on my mobility and flexibility. This is why I work out 3 or 4 days a week. This is why I can do my conditioning. And if you can tie that to a hobby that you really love and care about, that will really help keep you motivated. If you can stay in that frame and perspective with your mindset is why you're doing what you're doing. Because we all say, like, I want to be healthy. I want to live a long, healthy life. I get all those things. But also at the same time, I know peak motivation comes from, peak motivation for me was when I was training for a specific sport or, hobby, back when I was, middle school and high school and in college. And now I've kind of reprogrammed my mind to kind of think about it in the same way, in a sense. So my point is, for you, if you really enjoy hiking, you enjoy paddleboarding, you enjoy kayaking, maybe you enjoy golfing, maybe you've played, pickleball, maybe you really like, dancing, whatever the case may be, being in really good shape and gaining strength and being conditioned and having core strength, that's just going to improve your hobby that much more, and the way that you perform and how you can execute that specific hobby, right? Like, if you really build lower body strength and you drop a bunch of weight, like hiking and maybe bike riding with your family, those things are going to be so much easier for you. Okay. So I'll wrap it up there. I believe that you get the point. But again, to tie this all together is, like, if you can tie a specific hobby or something that you really enjoy, and you'll benefit from being in good shape and training for that, that will help keep you motivated, because we all love our hobbies. I mean, I absolutely love golf. So those days when I don't want to work out, or I'm in the gym and I'm like, I think I'm going to skip core today, or I'm not going to do my mobility and flexibility routine, I think about golf, because I play 2 or 3 times a week. And I know, like, hey, if I want to continue to improve my golf game and get down to a low single digit handicap, it's going to be really important for me to have tremendous core strength and be able to really whip the golf club and really work on core and lower back flexibility and stay healthy, right? Like, for golf, that's another big thing why I focus so much on mobility, flexibility is to stay healthy and make sure I can continue to play golf at a high level. All right. So something to think about. I do believe this is important. I was talking to a client this week around this. But think about hobbies that you enjoy and things that really light you up that you enjoy doing. And as far as training goes, that consistency with your training is going to help you enjoy and improve and how you perform that hobby even more.